Detective James Miller stood in front of the old Peterson mansion, his eyes fixed on the dusty windows of the third floor. The house had been empty for 15 years, or so everyone thought. Yesterday's phone call changed everything. "Detective, we found something strange," Officer Thompson had said. "The electric bill shows someone's been using power in that abandoned house. Not much, but it's there." Now, as Miller walked through the creaky front door, his flashlight beam cut through years of dust and cobwebs. The first floor was exactly what you'd expect: old furniture covered in white sheets, picture frames hanging crooked on the walls, and thick dust everywhere. The second floor was the same, but the third floor was different. "Thompson, come look at this," Miller called out to his partner. His flashlight beam had caught something odd: fresh footprints in the dust leading to a wall. "That's weird," Thompson said, studying the prints. "They just stop here." Miller ran his hands over the wooden panels of the wall. After a few seconds, he felt a small bump that shouldn't be there. He pressed it, and with a soft click, a hidden door swung open. Behind it was a room that didn't appear in any of the house plans. It was small, maybe 10 feet square, but what made Miller's heart race was that it looked lived in. A small bed sat in one corner, neatly made. A desk held a laptop computer, still warm to the touch. On the walls hung newspaper clippings about the Peterson family, specifically about the night they disappeared 15 years ago. "Look at this," Thompson said, picking up a journal from the desk. "It's dated 2 days ago." Miller opened the journal and began to read. "I'm close to the truth now. Father didn't just take the family and run like everyone thinks. Something made them leave that night. The bank records I found prove someone was threatening them. Large payments to an unknown account, getting bigger each month. But why? What did they know? This is active surveillance," Miller said, looking around the room with new eyes. "Someone's been living here, watching the house, gathering information. But where are they now?" A soft thud from somewhere below made both detectives freeze. "Thompson, check the stairs." "Don't let anyone leave," Miller whispered, drawing his gun. He moved to the window and looked down at the overgrown garden 3 stories below. A figure in dark clothing was running across the lawn. "Stop! Police!" Miller shouted, but the figure disappeared into the trees that lined the property. Over the next few hours, the crime scene team went through the hidden room carefully. They found more journals, computer files, and a complex chart on the wall connecting various members of the Peterson family to local business owners and politicians. "Detective," one of the tech team called out, "we found something interesting on the laptop. Emails, lots of them, sent to a private account. They're all about something called Project Mirror." Miller looked at the emails. Most were encrypted, but one caught his eye. Project Mirror must remain hidden. The Petersons almost exposed everything. We couldn't risk them talking. The same goes for anyone who gets too close. "Sir," Thompson said, returning from interviewing neighbors. "One of them remembers seeing someone matching our runner's description. Says they've noticed someone coming and going late at night for months, always wearing a dark coat." Miller nodded, pieces starting to fall into place. The Petersons discovered something they shouldn't have 15 years ago. Instead of running away, they were made to disappear. And now someone's trying to find out what happened to them," Thompson finished. "Yes, but that's not all," Miller said, looking at the journal again. "Whoever was living in this room, they weren't just investigating the Petersons' disappearance. Look at these recent entries. They were getting close to something bigger. Project Mirror, whatever it is, goes beyond one missing family. So where's our mysterious investigator now? Miller looked out the window at the gathering darkness. They're out there somewhere, and they know we're onto them. But they left this evidence for us to find. They wanted us to know. What's our next move? We follow their trail, Miller said, carefully closing the journal. Someone went to a lot of trouble to uncover this mystery. Now it's our turn to solve it. As they left the mansion that night, Miller couldn't shake the feeling that they'd stumbled onto something much bigger than a simple missing persons case. The forgotten room had given them their first real clue in 15 years, but he sensed it was just the beginning. In his car, Miller's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Be careful who you trust. Project Mirror has eyes everywhere. I'll be in touch. He looked back at the mansion's dark windows. Somewhere in this city, their mysterious investigator was waiting to make their next move. And Detective Miller intended to be ready when they did.